So here I have the form action. First one is post and then second one is get. So if I submit that post action, it forms an associative array in the server side. So there is a super global which is called $_post, which will be accessed by the server using CGI. So whenever the user sends some query data or whatever in the body parameters, it will be accessed through this post, $_post. Whatever comes in post will be used by this. So I'm just dumping the data, whatever comes from the post. As you can see, it forms an associative array. So how the developer will use it, just stores it into the variable, and post will be stored. Here the username, I have given it as a username because in the form action I am naming it as a username. So I can access this username using post super global. Same as get. So in the get, instead of the request going in the body parameter, it will go in the URL. So everything will be formed in the URL. I showed you the URL beginning how it will be processing. So here that username, password, and the submit action, which will be formed as an associative array, same as post, and developer will use it in the same way as post, $_get. I just dumped it, it forms an associative array. So he can use username, password, whatever the data is coming from the get, he can use it. So next with PHP, I'm going to show you the configuration. So most of the developers, like, they fail in configuration. So there is a configuration file called php.ini, which controls everything in the PHP, which may look like this. So here is the whole configuration of the PHP. So if I may show you that, let's say for instance we are getting error messages. To control the error message, what we can do, we can switch it on the display error message when it is in the development, and we can switch it off the display errors in the production. So if the developer is not doing that, all the errors will be shown to the hackers. They can use it for very malicious purposes. So in that, they have, even in the XAMPP, they have given it as an PHP ini production and also in development. So whenever that production is going to, like, the site is going to go into the production, they just need to change that configuration file into production. And also one very important file, which is PHP info, which contains all the data about the current configuration of the PHP. So here you can see all the loaded configuration files and whatnot. Everything is there. So this file, when moving into the production, it should be removed. In case, like, some developers may think that when something bad happens, may resolve it quickly using this file. They may leave it in the production as well, which may cause some problems. So they should remove this file as well. And another one thing is to evade the error files. So to evade the errors, so in this code, I'm setting the display error is equal to 0. So whatever error I do in this, let's say for instance I type something, whatever I do, error will not be shown to the hackers. So I reload this page, no error will be shown. So if I change it to 1, passing error, all the errors will be shown to the. So it's just easy as that to not to show the errors to the other normal users.
What is the difference between PHP ini and PHP ini production?
So it is the same file which has different configuration for production environment.
Okay, so they're just commenting out that error or a part you're saying?
Yeah, so if I may show you this.
They have different settings, but once they are moving to production, they'll switch that file.
Okay, so PHP ini is by default, and whatever configuration you are doing, that will be on PHP ini production. भी production के
उसको जस्ट रिप्लेस कर देगा PHP ANI उसको प्रोडक्शन हटा के PHP.ANI रख देगा बस.
okay.
So another one thing we get in PHP is directory listing. All the time, anywhere in PHP site, you just run a buster. It gives you all the directories. So how to avoid this kind of directory listing? So here I have one folder. It is private. It should not be listed like this. So you can use a .htaccess file in Apache. This belongs to the Apache configuration. So if I go to this folder and already have that file configured, which may look like this. To avoid the directory listing, just simple one command, options indexes. If you put that command, that's it. It will not list all the directories. If I paste it here, let me go back to the private, it won't be shown. So it's simple as that to avoid from the directory listing attacks. Next thing is redirection. So to configure redirection, we have seen it redirections in login page. When we give the first post request, which may send a 302, and then which another time sends our browser sends a get. So there are several faults which have been done in the past. I have just looked at, grasped the ideas, and made a vulnerable redirection. So which may look like this. Let me show that. So it may just look funny. First I'm sending a post request which contains the username, password and everything. It validates and sends a 302 which contains the another one get. Another one get is formed, and in that get what some developers might do is set some URL like query parameters like logged in is equal to 1, is admin is equal to 1. Why? So if they will send it through the 302 actually. So if they are setting like this, so you can manipulate this logged in is equal to 1 and logged in is equal to 0 to get some another page which may be like IDOR. So here I'm writing local. So this is I have configured it in given it as a variable, not in a database, just to simulate the things. So here comes the post. Send the post. So in the another one 302, how it have been given as logged in is equal to 0. So if I may change it to 1, instead of giving that local.html, some another page, another one get is formed, is logged in is equal to 1. So what happens is, I have been given access to admin.html. This is a thing happened in like in one website. In the redirection, they have given it as logged in is equal to 0 for normal users and logged in is equal to 1 or something for some privileged users. So if they change it in the second, third get, in the third like in the third get, the second get, they may get some another privileges. So another one kind of redirection error we see in PHP is first we send a post, then in the post URL form action, there will be some queries will be written there. Based on the queries, they will do the redirection. So in the code I will show you. So what they will do, they will write the form action like this: submit.php hyphen return 2 is equal to normal.html. This also happened in one website, famous website. So in that return to, they have been planning this guy to send it to the normal.html. So what we can do, type some username, So I submit the form action. So in here you can see that return to is this normal.html. So what I will write admin.html. So if the developer is using from this URL and then redirecting us, so now what will happen? It will redirect to admin.html instead of the local.html. So in the code, how it should be done is, so here I'm getting the request in that URL, return to parameter, and then I'm straight away passing it to my custom function called return to. So how the redirection happens in PHP, you just need to set a one header saying that location is equal to something. If we set the header and then send it to the in the response, it will give you a 302 redirection. So it gets the request from that URL, the first URL, and then it with that custom function I'm redirecting. So when I change that parameter to something else, it gives me authentication to some another page which should not be shown to me. So how to avoid this kind of attacks? Never get anything from the users. Like everything should be hard coded in the server side. So this is how you avoid that open redirection kind of things. Next thing we see is file include. It is like local file inclusion and remote file inclusions. So here I have one file. First I will show you that vulnerable part. So here I'm getting one in the get request. I'm getting one parameter cmd, and in that file I'm getting which file I want into. Let's consider it as a template. Let's say for instance I want to change something in this page, font size, whatever, color or something. So what I do, I just so here in the code what I am doing, this is the proper way of getting the file inclusion. You set up allowed methods. What are the things are allowed in the array? You set these are the pages you can access, you can include. Whatever other things comes from that user should not be allowed. So instead of writing securely like here, if I write this way, I'm straight away getting that get request from that cmd parameter, and then straight away passing into the include command. Include command is nothing but let's say in some page we want to include another page into the current page. Just use that include command to add some another page. So if I add some another page which I have like etc password or something, I just use this command. So this may be some another folder which I have set, which may be etc password, similar to etc password. You just do the direct reversal and get this file instead of the original file. So to avoid this, use load array and then always check for the commands and use ternary operator. Whatever other thing comes, just whitelist it, and whatever other things comes, just don't allow anything else. That's it. Next is command injection. So there are two ways of avoiding command injection. Actually, three ways. The first way is not to use that command injection, like commands anywhere. All the developers all the time say that never use. Try to find all other alternatives if you really want to use it. If there is no other resort, use that escape shell command function, which is predefined function, and also another one command is there, escape shell argument. Whenever you pass an user input from whenever you pass a user input, just sanitize that input with escape shell command and also with shell argument. This is how you avoid command injection. Now comes the session part. So can anyone tell me the difference between session and a cookie? Anybody? Just want to, what is the difference between cookie and a session? Suresh.
रंजीत आपसे करो ना बोल आज कर रहा हूँ मैं 3 साल से चैट मतलब 3 साल से
Whenever the user is login, the username and password is going to the server side. The server generate one section at its own end. That is some long value. Authentication session basically do. Whenever the response coming from the server, that session part is stored into the browser cookie. So next time, whenever we can request anything, any request is going to the server, browser just append his session cookie that this request want within this cookie, and it will be go to the server side. So server wants to know, yeah, I'll serve this request for this cookie. In this way, the communication can happen.
Yeah. As he said, I will give you an analogy. Consider cookie session as a badge which have been given to a guy coming for a company, just for a visit. If a guy coming, like let's say his preferences, cookie may be defined as a preference. We give a badge with some number, random number, which we even we do with some functions like user defined function. We hash it and then give that ID some number, which may be used for giving his preference for his language, maybe English or something like that. Consider a session. Session is the same as a badge ID, which is sent same as cookie. Session also have been sent as a cookie through some identifiers, but all the details of that guy will be stored in the server side rather than in the client side. So the client not have all the details. It will not be stored in the browser side. So let me give you a quick overview how. Clearing all the cookies. So here you can see there is no cookie there. So setting a cookie in PHP is very easy. Let's go to our PHP. So this is how you set a cookie for a user. Let's say for instance I want to store his preference for let's say that that user maybe want to see English related pages, English pages. So I just set a value as en and then name as a language something, and I set all the expiry time, path, domain. If he is coming from HTTPS, should I want to send it as HTTPS secure and HTTP only, and this is the only command used for setting a cookie. So if I use this page now, if I see over here in the response, so this cookie have been set. So this cookie, nothing but a preference have been stored in the browser side and also which comes for the server side. So now consider a session which is sent as a cookie, but it will be stored in a server. Let me clear everything. So here I am having the session ID. So this is also a super global used by the developers for setting any data related to the user in the server side. Say for instance, for this user I am setting id is equal to 1. Maybe his id is 11. Let me show you where it will be stored in the server. If I may go to the XAMPP, go to the temp, you see this id EBN. It will be stored in the server side. So you see I have set that id is equal to 11 here. So in the server side, always it will be stored in the server side. So user agents, which IP is coming from, like what not, you can store anything about that user in the server side. So cookie is just for the browser and browser side, and this session will be stored in the server side. If you get IDOR in any website, just go to this temp page and get all the user session IDs, whatever. If the site is live, you can get all the details which have been stored by the developer. So another one scenario we face is after login, we may ask in the application, we may say that after login the ID should change, session ID should change. So this sort of thing, how it have been implemented, I will show you in this code. Just showing the simulation of the code. Whenever I come, I have been given a session ID, and also if I log in, the session ID should change. So here I am logging in, the session ID is changing, and also session is also stored in associative array, and these IDs, all these IDs, like say user agent have been stored. If I go to this 480 in the temp folder, I told you that all this details related to the user agent, whatnot, everything will be stored in the server side. So how I generate this after login, regenerating that session ID? It's just a simple function. So whenever user logs in, I just set this function, that's it. Simple as that. So what the PHP will do, PHP will automatically change the session ID and send it to the user and track him with this session super global. So if a user is coming from another IP, I can restrict him, like some another user agent he is coming from, I can restrict him. So these sort of things you can use it with session IDs. And logout, what I do, I just go and insert the session insert is the function I use to insert the session IDs. So you have seen about session IDs and how it is changing after login. So now let's see about CSRF. So CSRF is also done by creating a token. So when you send an HTML page, you just call the CSRF token function, create a custom function, and send it with the form page. And the function you write is just create a random token for it. Whenever the page loads, the token will change, and also store that CSRF token in the session super global. whenever the user comes and submit the form, we just compare the CSRF token stored in the session super global with the older one which you have sent. So here as you can see, so if I reload this page, always this token will change, because whenever I am loading this page, I'm calling this function, so which goes here and always calls for CSRF token, which is here. It creates one MD5 random hash and sets it and stores in super global session. So whenever that form is submitted, I'm using this function. CSRF token is valid. I'm just comparing it with user token and store the token. It's simple as that. So if I submit with form is valid, just I'm showing as a simulation. So if I remove it to if I remove that token, it's going in, it should go in the body parameters. If I remove it, it will say token missing or mismatched. This is how we just create a random token and pass it to the session CSRF token, and then validate all the time whenever the form is submitted. So this is how we avoid CSRF attack. Next attack we face is excesses. So in the excesses, there are majorly three things they use. First is HTML special characters, which is a function, predefined function in PHP to avoid this kind of excesses. So I have written out everything in a single page. So if I load this page, I have written some random HTML injection and also JavaScript injection. So first function I'm calling is HTML special characters. What it will do, it will remove four things: close bracket, open brackets, and ampersand and the double quotes. So these are four things it will remove. So as you can see in this page, I think I written it wrongly. So it will remove all the tags. So excesses will be avoided using these HTML special characters. So whenever the developer is using HTML special characters, it's very impossible to make an excesses in that using that sanitization. So you can go for another context, like if it is reflecting in JavaScript, you can try on that way. So if he is using HTML special characters, as per my knowledge, there is no version.
Go to the config file.
Okay. So yeah.
That bracket, triangle bracket, open, close, and then then you said double quote.
I will show you an image. So it's an inbuilt function.
No, you mentioned that and then double quote. What was that?
Ampersand. Which one was it?
If you have to blacklist these three things, I mean you're defining this bracket open, bracket close, and double quote. This will be sufficient, right? Or adding that ampersand and what was that? I want to know.
So you're saying why the ampersand?
Yeah.
So it's a predefined.
Predefined.
Yeah. So why it have been shown here is because of the safe things which happen in the backside, like LTGT policy, as you can see here. It have been safely encoded then shown it. So if he is using this HTML special characters, access on that place is difficult.
Can you show the code?
HTML special character. Just a predefined function.
HTML string.
So, yeah, special characters and even JavaScript also. So what developers will do sometimes, they are lazy, they don't write this code, just write string replace and make us confused. Like they just remove that opening tag, and we may look for how to do the access on that place. Even in that case, it will be difficult. You need to look for context where it is reflecting. If it is also reflecting in JavaScript, you may go for polyglot payloads. So these are all 3-4 functions are there. One is strip tags, which will remove all the tags as shown in here. String replace whatever you want to replace, like open tag I want to replace. I'm writing it and giving a empty for this HTML string variables. Tag replace is also there. HTML entity is similar as HTML special characters, but instead it will encode everything, whatever this colon and everything. So accesses have been avoided through these 3-4 functions in PHP. Script tag is also there, and also sometimes URL may come. May leave that URL side and use the URL in the page, which will sometimes give us the reflected accesses. For that URL kind of thing, they use URL encode. It's also predefined. And for JavaScript, like sometimes they use JSON encode as well. And these two things for SQL. Let me show you that SQL part. So in SQL, there are 3 major ways they are avoiding that SQL injection. First, I showed you like MySQLi real escape string, which will avoid all the like codes and double quotes and single quotes you are entering. It will put a slash in front of it, and also add slash is also same. It will just add a single quote in like slash in front of it and adding it to the SQL database. So SQL database have you can access SQL database in 2 ways. First is PDO and then MySQLi, and another one is the MySQL, which have been deprecated. If any developer is using that database nowadays, you can pretty much see his database in pastebin. So this PDO you can use prepared statements also, and PDO you can use it for all the databases: SQL, IBM, Sybase, SQLite, PostgreSQL. Video is how you can say where you can access the database to send the query using the PHPs. Let me show you in the code. So here I'm writing one prepared statement using PDO. So first I'm writing what are the paths, like localhost, database name, user credentials, and preparing the statement, not passing the variables directly, preparing the statement, binding it, and then executing it. So the binding in the sense like it will straight away this one will jump into this place. It will not add any other tags you are entering.
So is that a solution for actually that's what you are using? PDO.
PDO. Prepared statement. PDO is the way you access.
It's similar to DAO in Java.
DO.
Data access object.
किससे डेटा लेना है, किससे स्टोर करना है, DO कैसे?
So
DAO, data access object.
So video is not a way to avoid the.
No, I know prepared check. Yeah, just I'm confused with that video.
So first I will go with the add slashes command. So I'm having one get parameter like ID I'm getting. Instead of I'm passing it to add slashes. Let me show how it happens. So I'm typing random things. So SQL will evade that codes and all with slash if you put that backslash. If you put the backslash in front of that codes and all, it will make it as a safe one. So using the dash slashes also some developers evade that SQL injection. So here if I add double quotes, so everything will be evaded by adding the slashes in front of it. So when it sends to the SQL, it will be safe. So but still it is vulnerable. There are some 0 days they use to evade these add slashes. So next thing they use is MySQL trail escape string. So this one. So here I am writing on SQL connection using MySQLi instead of PDO, localhost root, and then all the details database, and I'm getting that variable from the get parameter from the user, and I'm straight away passing it, that variable into the SQL. But if I have written that trail escape string here for evading all the parameter like injection things or whatever things I'm going to write. So when I execute this query, so this is proper thing coming from the database. If I type to, so this is the database which I'm having MariaDB. So if I put something like this, or so what it is doing, whenever I type single quotes or whatever, it's straight away adding one slashes and making it safe. So I'm just showing you in a simulation way. So this is an error generated by MariaDB. So that injection will not happen here using my real escape string. So another one thing which I have found just now, bypass Java with union select you can bypass it. So there is a bypass for this MySQL real escape string as well.
Can you give an example of that? How we can bypass that slash? If it is appending that slash? If you're aware of any.
I have one payload, but no, it's not working. So we just add it here. So this symbol I'm setting, which will be as a command or something. It will evade this my real escape string. I will send you that payload when I get it. I forgot. Also, you can like run the database using union select and everything. This. So next one is PDO, for which I am writing prepare statement. For MSQL also you can write prepare statements, and also with PDO also you can write prepare statements. So here I am getting get parameter and sending it, and I am binding the parameter, executing it, and fetching the data and showing it to the users. So this is prepared statements. If you pass anything in the parameter, like say you write some function here and then pass the parameters through this from the users, it is called the parameterized queries with preferred statements. It is also helpful for avoiding SQL injection. So if I open this preferred statement page, so here I'm getting ID parameters. So this is the thing I'm getting from the database. So if I type mon using preferred statements. So if I type anything here, so it is avoided correctly, but still it's vulnerable. We are not sure how it is happening. It's just taking the first value and what I'm entering here. It's showing the correct details from the database, but there is no injection happens here. So these are 3 ways you can use it for avoiding SQL injection in the PHP. And if the error page have been allowed in the SQL injection, and let's say for instance some wrong injection payloads which is going to be made to redirect to some error page. So in that case you can try that blind. You can start with the blind with that redirection, whether you give the correct ID, and then you go with you send the time parameters like sleep, wait for, delay, time based, and then boolean based. So this thing possible. And whenever the developer thinks about SQL, they think it in a 3 way, which is called CRUD. First is creating and reading. In that reading only we are getting all the injections. So injections are possible all the time in the reading. Second order is possible in creating. So whenever you get a injection is when we are reading the data, select star is there, we are getting the injection. And when you send some wrong values here to make the SQL work in the another page read. So this is how this second order and first order works. That's all from me today. Thank you. Any questions? Thank you.
Recording the session.